Thank you very much, General Jeffrey. You are a true combination, a real fine combination between an officer and a gentleman, an ambassador and an officer. And I'm very proud to be your friend in your vicinity. Thank you, Ambassador Bass, for your excellent contribution to this conference. Thank you, Kadia. This your presentation, especially the historical presentation of the significance of 1st of December, was very good. So this makes my task a little bit easier, or does it? I don't know exactly if I will be able to rise to the level of these conferences, the previous presentations. Of course, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit afraid being in front of such distinguished audience and being in front of such people with high knowledge of politics, diplomacy, history. But I'm trying to do my best in order to present to you some of the considerations and facts about the Centennial, about the centenary of Romania, this big celebration, huge celebration of our country this year. And of course, I will get to the point when I will speak about the relations between Romania and Pakistan, the European Union, taking over by Romania the presidency of the European Union, the relations between European Union and Pakistan, and some other aspects if there will be time enough, and if you don't get too much bored and you will leave. So, thank you, General Jeffrey, for mentioning my remarks that truly in the World War I, the 1.2 million soldiers coming from the subcontinent participated, and 400,000 of them were Muslim, 400,000 of them were fighting in the war in Europe, in Russia, in Belgium, in China, in some other places, and contributed by their blood to the outcome of the war. And when I speak about Pakistan, we have to mention 60,000 people, 60,000 soldiers dying in the process in fighting for liberty, for freedom, and for peace. Most of them were from Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And we have to remember them, and we will remember them, and Romania will remember them as the participants and as contributors to Romanian Great Union in 1st of December 1918. So, according to my opinion, the First World War was one of the unexpected inflections into the history, causing a paradigm which were provoking fundamental changes in Europe at that time, to a larger extent to the world at large. The First World War primarily was a drama, was a multiple drama involving soldiers fighting in the war, involving families remaining at home, involving decision makers who had to take extremely painful decisions sometimes, which most of the time, and most of them had been haunting for years until the death because of their decisions taken in the course of the war, which unintentionally, of course, caused a lot of death. And the lesson of the First World War should be especially about the awareness of the price paid for maintaining and regaining peace, and about historical reconciliation. Historical reconciliation, and only by understanding these lessons we can pay tribute to all those who have lost their lives in this total, devastating confrontation. Romania's involvement in the First World War was equal in our collective memory with the effort of achieving the ideal of our national unitary state. That was not for the first time that this idea had been achieved. Many centuries ago, in the year of 1600, there was an idea materialized by one of our kings, which managed by his fighting and efforts, and by realizing the idea that all Romanians should live within the same territory, within the same boundary, he conquered for a brief period of time the two regions besides the Wallachia, and made the first time in the history Romania is being as a whole. Now, 100 years after the First World War, Romania respects the contribution of the great statesmen who we have made profound commitment and actively contributed to projects meant to protect peace. We are now reaffirm our attachment to the principle of international law, to the promotion of mutual respect and good understanding, to the openness to dialogue. This centenary has a high significance for Romania, for my country. Romania is now not only a mature country, politically from the historical and political point of view, but is also a consistent, credible, and substantial member of the European Union and NATO. We are participating as a country in realizing and improving, as a matter of fact, the European project, and we are trying to be a responsible actor and principal in international relations at a global level. We can say about 1st of December that was an historically important point in Romania's history. It was a moment where the ideal for unity has been achieved, but it was also a start for a modern Romanian state. Now we are in the geographic region we are situated. We are both a promoter of peace, and we are a gate blocker and an opener of new horizons for the mankind. Now, when I'm speaking about relationship between Romania and Pakistan, we have to say from the very beginning that Pakistan is a very important partner for our country, is a very important partner for Romania in Southeast Asia, in South Asia, and we are totally interested in deepening and enlarging the scope of relations between our two countries. We are clearly and soundly acknowledge the efforts and sacrifices of Pakistan in fighting terrorism, militancy and radical extremism, and hope that Pakistan's efforts and endeavors will continue to be an important part of international fight against terrorism. We welcome the general elections taken place in Pakistan, which took place in Pakistan on 25th of July, and we are willing to working with the new government in Islamabad for taking forward the bilateral agenda, as well as the cooperation within EU, European Union, Pakistan framework, and in multilateral formats, especially in the United Nations format. In this context, I would like to express my gratitude for Pakistan's decision to vote for Romania's candidacy to become a non-permanent member of the Security Council of the United Nations Organization in the elections which will take place in 2019. We can say that the Romanian-Pakistan relations are characterized by friendship and collaboration, and we have to mention, to point out that in recent years we witnessed a new dynamism in the relations between our two countries, with a result-oriented driven, with a very substantial political dialogue, which reflected a clear desire of both states for developing a pragmatic relationship in the fields of mutual interest. We have many moments in the last couple of years when we had a very substantial and consistent dialogue. There will be no time enough for mentioning all of them. But what I can say that there is a mutual desire, a very important mutual desire to promote and further develop the relations in every possible field between Romania and Pakistan. I will only mention one of them, which is the dialogue which has been institutionalized at the political consultations between at the level of foreign ministry. We have every year political consultation at the level of Secretary of State or Director General, in which we are speaking about candidly and sincerely about all the problems the two countries are concerned with, and I have to say that there is no any issue in which we have identified until now big issues, big divergences between our two countries. We are on the same page in almost all the aspects of political situation in the world, in the region, or at the global level. When it comes to political relations, of course, I can say that there are good relations. They are close to excellent relations. This is not the situation when I speak about economic relations. When I speak about economic relations, I have some reservations. The volume of trade between Romania and Pakistan is rather low. It's 100 million, which is far below the potential, the huge potential of the two countries. So I put high on my agenda, on the staff agenda, on the embassy agenda, to make further efforts in order to identify the solutions for increasing the level of cooperation between our two countries. And as both ambassadors said, business-to-business contacts, person-to-person contacts are the only way in which we can make Romania better understood in Pakistan and Pakistan also better understood in Romania, so that there will be much more avenues and ways for developing the economic relations. Throughout our history of diplomatic relations, we have, of course, built a lot of bridges between two actually remote geographically, from the geographic point of view, states, starting from the spiritual bonds, which are a special part of the Romanian-Pakistan relationship. I would mention in this context at this moment that a strong symbol of the Romanian-Pakistan long-time friendship is the monument in Islamabad dedicated to the national poets of our two countries. We have joint monuments in Blue Area in Islamabad of Allama Iqbal and Mihai Eminescu, which I think is one of the living proof, as I can say that, of the ever-growing friendship of between Romania and Pakistan. And this monument is a fusion between elements of and features of the endless column of Constantin Brâncuș, our famous sculpture, and traditional Pakistani architecture. Also, a statue of our national poet, Mihai Eminescu, was erected in Multan. Regarding education, the cooperation between our two countries in education, we have been working very hard in our aim to conclude a substantial legal framework for the cooperation in everything concerning education, culture, sport, and other activities. And all these activities, all these efforts have been very much supported by the Foreign Ministry of Romania and, of course, by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Pakistan. We are also very much in favor of inviting young people from Pakistan to come to Romania for benefiting the educational system in our country. We have established an extremely performant, competent education system there, and Pakistani young are extremely welcome to come there for studying in Romania. And I think this is not only because of we are creating this more mobility for the students of Pakistan, but also we will increase the level of exchange, of cultural exchange between the two countries, taking into consideration that every Pakistan student there is carrying culture, tradition, art, and the history of Pakistan. We, in this way, I think we will contribute to building bridges between our two nations and between our two countries. We also have this system of inviting young Pakistani diplomats to attend our diplomatic vocational courses, actually diplomatic courses in Romania. And I can say that for now we have quite been successful in working with Pakistani diplomats there. We have many to learn from the Pakistan diplomacy, as well as Pakistan diplomacy have to learn from our diplomacy. We also have been in the process of establishing a lecturer of Romanian language in Lahore, which will only contribute to making Romania's culture better understood in Pakistan. Now, when it comes to the relations between European Union and Pakistan, Romania being one of the members of the European Union since 1st of January 2007, Romania will fully support the new EU-Pakistan Strategic Engagement Plan, and this is going to be signed, and I'm sure it will be signed not very in the distant future, but in a couple of weeks from now, between Federica Mogherini and the Pakistan Foreign Minister during the next EU-Pakistan Strategic Dialogue. We also welcome the presence in Pakistan of EU delegation election monitoring team in the context of the parliamentary elections to be held, which were held in 25th of July. And among this team, the three of the members from Romania. Romania strongly and vocally supports Pakistan in receiving the GSP Plus from the EU, and will continue to plead for further development of the relations between EU and Pakistan, in the benefit, of course, of the two parties. In this regard, we appreciate the new government's agenda focused on the social sectors, good governance, and fight against poverty, which in our view had a tremendous potential to increase further cooperation between EU and Pakistan framework, to which Romania will continue to contribute. I am speaking about this. I've been many times asked, how do I feel about Pakistan? How do I feel about the economic development of Pakistan? And how do I feel about the future of Pakistan? 2 weeks ago, I granted an interview to our government, National Romanian Press Agency. So if anybody is interested in seeing how I feel about Pakistan, you can read in that interview. But what I can say now is that both of you, General Jaffari and the Ambassador, you have been very right in indicating that Romania have developed a true affection toward Pakistan. We've been, as an ambassador, being here for 2 years, my wife and me, and all of our staff in the embassy, we developed a true affection and love even for Pakistan. And we want to have Pakistan developed free of problems, free of troubles, which is free of all problems is almost impossible, but as few as they can be. So I always, when I'm asked about the future of Pakistan, I always say that Pakistan can become one of the most important economic power, not only of the region, but of the world. And because I served in Japan for a while, back in late 90s, I am tempted, and I cannot refuse this temptation, to make a parallel between Pakistan and Japan. Pakistan, which has much more natural resources, population, and I always say that Pakistan can become a new Japan of this area if there will be some conditions fulfilled. One of them is good governance. Second is seriously fighting corruption. Corruption is the very cancer of the societies all over the world, which is rotting the economic body, and not only of a country. If Pakistan will curb seriously bureaucracy, because this is again another negative aspect of the social economic life of every country in the world, not only Pakistan. Opening the country is a very important aspect. And of course, if the security landscape in the region will improve, because this is a very important aspect also. Pakistan, in my opinion, is caught in a very complex security situation, in a very complex, I wouldn't say hostile security environment or landscape, but I'm not very far from this idea. So sometimes I really appreciate the quality of Pakistan diplomacy in maneuvering in such a complex and difficult situation in which Pakistan is fighting now. And I'm feeling optimistic because we have been studying the program announced by Prime Minister Imran Khan in as far as the good governance is concerned and fighting poverty. And I think that this is the new government programs can be seen as an important window of opportunity for Pakistan to make progress in the future. Now I will get back again with the Pakistan, but now I'd like to emphasize some of the aspects of the Romanian economy. We can say that when it comes to speaking about Romanian economy, then now it's situated on a very solid growth path that is expected to maintain its path. Ambassador, the rate in 2017 was 7.1, so it's an important increase. And we are estimating that for 2018 we will get to an increase, economic growth of 6.7%. We've been launching a lot of public investment projects which have an important and significant impact on the economy, and Romanian government is now in the process of stimulating investments, both from the domestic business community and from abroad. Absorption of European structural funds is a priority for the government, as it is for every country which joined the European Union recently, and my Bulgarian colleague knows that this is a complicated task. But this is a priority which you will stick with until we get the maximum possible absorption rate of the European funds. We are welcoming the Pakistani tourists to Romania to spend holidays in Romania, and students to come, as I said, to choose Romania as a destination of study. We have a lot of possibilities to attract foreign investment. We are in the process of improving the infrastructure and everything concerned the tourism, and I think that we are in the situation, in the position to learn from each other, because Pakistan is also having a huge touristical potential, not fully exploited yet, although the potential touristical potential of Pakistan will be, if managed properly, one of the main contributors to the GDP of this country. And I hope we will all live to see the day when Pakistan will become one of the most important country in the world in touristical terms, because you have what to show. I mean, Pakistan have tremendous tourist potential. If only exploited properly, will become, I think, can become the most important part of the industry, the most important part of the economy. Now, when it comes to external policy, foreign policy of Romania, my country, we are living, everybody knows that, we are living in a very complex, extremely complex world and landscape. And this world, this security and special security landscape require a great diversity of responses. The more dynamic you are, the more flexible you are to give the proper responses to the challenges we are coping now with, the more successful your foreign policy is. We are we've been constantly, as a country, following a multi-track approach through profound belief in multilateralism and international law, in development assistance and humanitarian aid, and not least through military presence in international missions. We are one of the important contributors to the peacekeeping operation all over the world. We are in countries like Liberia, Cyprus, South Sudan. We are also in Pakistan. We have 2 officers in UNMOGIP, United Nations Military Observer Group for India and Pakistan. We are almost in every war situation in the world. So we are now, in principle, we are driven by a long-term commitment for peace, justice, and development. This inspired us within our region, within the United Nations, on international stage. Romania has constantly promoted a cooperation with Asia in the field of security as a member state of the European Union and NATO. Both at multilateral and bilateral levels, we express our commitment to share expertise and best practices within Asia countries and issues like migration, border management, or fighting terrorism. We have also a lot of elements when we speak about cooperation, security cooperation between Europe and Asia. I don't want to get into many details, maybe on another occasion. Speaking about terrorism, terrorism represents today the global common enemy, which adds to an increasing complicated and unpredictable geopolitical environment. Romania condemns this scourge in all forms and manifestation. Although we are not confronting with internal terrorism, we don't have in Romania internal terrorism, we have to mention that we have citizens traveling abroad in many areas, sensitive areas. We have also troops in resolute support mission in Afghanistan. We are very resolutely reaffirm our commitment to participate in the fight against terrorism, in defeat terrorist organizations like Daesh or any other organization or any other form of extremism or radicalism threatening the peace and, as a matter of fact, the humanity, and promote also multi-sectorial approach to this fight against terrorism. We are supporting the implementation of the UE counterterrorism strategy and new European global strategy in Afghanistan. However, at the same time, our fight against terrorism must ensure a balance between fundamental freedoms, legal framework, enforcement and responsibility to deliver security to the citizens. Also, the economic and cultural scientific contexts at community level between Islamic and non-Islamic countries, as well as increased security for financial and banking platforms, are of paramount importance in our common endeavor for fighting terrorism. Because one of the key elements, major elements when it comes to fighting terrorism is cooperation. Cooperation on everyone, every stakeholders in the process should cooperate in the best manner they can for assuring success of fighting terrorism. Sometimes fighting terrorism seems to be an impossible mission. It is not. It is very difficult. It is extremely, extremely complicated and requires a lot of resources and determination. But through cooperation, everyone in this world, I think that we can have success in fighting this scourge of our days. Now, speaking about the presidency of the European Union, or the presidency of the Council of the European Union, we are really, yes, we are beginning in 1st of January 2019. We will be very happy and to to learn from our Bulgarian friends. They had a successful presidency in first semester of this year. And when it comes to the objective of this presidency, this strategic goal of ours will remain a stronger, more efficient, and more credible European Union on the global stage. Therefore, the further implementation of EU global strategy will be of the utmost importance for Romania 2019 EU Council of Presidency, aiming and outward and forward-looking European foreign and security policy. A stronger Europe means also a stronger commitment for multilateralism. We'll seek to reinforce Europe's attachment to multilateralism and international law by promoting a stronger cooperation with the United Nations, especially in matters such as peacekeeping operations or resilience to natural disasters, having in mind our expertise in this field. We will ensure also an active support promoting the sustainable development on the EU agenda, which is consistent investment in Europe's stability on a long term. From the point of view of commercial policy at global level, the Romanian presidency will promote the modernization of the World Trade Organization in the interest of safeguarding and promoting a rule-based international commercial system. We will closely follow the progress in the implementation of the EU strategy on Euro-Asian connectivity adopted on 15th of October 2018, which is inclusive and far-reaching. For us, one of the main aspects is to capitalize the role of the Black Sea region, and in this context, the strategy reveals a strategic potential, including for our country, ensuring increased connection with Asia in a wide range of areas. In mid-December, I guess, Romania will announce the priority. This is only some hints on our priorities as a president of the European Union Council. When it comes to the future of Europe, there are a lot of debates regarding how Europe will shape its form in the future, how Europe will survive the challenges that Europe is facing now. And in parallel, there is an ongoing process of reflection on this matter when it comes to the future of the Union. Last year, you remember, in March, we celebrated 60 years in the Treaty of Rome, which laid the foundation of the European Union. In this general context created by Brexit, and everybody now is talking these days about the Brexit is the talk of the day. The declaration adopted during the anniversary last year has reconfirmed the willingness of member states to remain united, moving forward in the same direction, and committed to ensuring a sustainable future for our common project. For all of us, the European Union remained an indispensable project. Romania intends to have a positive role in shaping the future of the EU, and our intention, our project, is for sure to strengthen the European Union project and its international projects to be able to tackle efficiently the challenges everybody, the world, is facing these days. We are a strong supporter of a more united and cohesive EU 27 on all its dimensions, political, economic, social. Therefore, the motto for the Romanian presidency of the European Union will be cohesion, a common Europe value. Now, speaking about Brexit, from the very onset of the Brexit negotiations, Romania has constantly emphasized the importance of an orderly and predictable process that could set the basis for a close future relations between the EU and UK. We have been very active in following the evolution in this process and have proactively contributed to the drafting of the EU mandates. It is a complex situation with the UK leaving the European Union. It is, in my opinion, a negative aspect. Nobody is happy with that, especially in the European Union, and I can guess that even outside the European Union there are not many which, with some exceptions of course, to applaud the exit of Great Britain from the European Union. I personally, I only hope that the solution will be found, that UK will stay as close as it can be imagined to the European Union, so that everything in terms of commerce, economy, security, culture, education will be solved in a very amicable way, in a very constructive and cooperative way. We still have, I personally still have a slight hope, but not a very consistent one, not a very substantial hope, that the solution will be found, that ultimately UK will stay in the European Union or will stay as much as possible close to European Union. And because we are aware that the Brexit process represents a unique circumstance. It's a unique and a major challenge for the European Union. It's in the same time, as I said, the United Kingdom leaving the European Union has also a global impact and an influence at a global level. Almost all the countries in the world will be in one way or another affected by Brexit. We are very happy to see the positive contribution of Pakistan in solving the crisis like Afghanistan. I personally believe that there cannot be a solution in Afghanistan without the sincere contribution, participation of Pakistan. And as I said, the government, my government, is praising the contribution of Pakistan in fighting terrorism. You can imagine that more than 70,000 people died in the process of fighting terrorism. We can think of 120 or more billions of dollars material losses, material financial loss in the process. If we think only that the whole Pakistan yearly export is somehow to 25 billions, 120 is 5 times more than the total export of Pakistan in 1 year. So this should be acknowledged, and I very much acknowledge the contribution of Pakistan in fighting terrorism and in giving positive contributions to stabilization of the region. At the same time, I really believe that cooperation with all the stakeholders, including all the parties present in Pakistan, is very much needed, and I believe the more the cooperation is increasing, the bigger the chances to find a solution in Afghanistan are near. I believe that for Pakistan, Afghanistan is a very sensitive issue. Afghanistan is a problem for Pakistan, is a burden for Pakistan, and also is, let's say, how should I put it, a moment in time, a moment in history when Pakistan can show that is a very important country and is a country which can participate in a decisive role in solving the crisis in Afghanistan. I strongly believe that Pakistan has the solution, has the potential, and I strongly hope that Pakistan has the intentions and the goodwill to be the responsible participant in solving the problem of Afghanistan, which is a global problem, is not a regional problem. It's a problem, of course, for Pakistan in the first place, and of course in the first place for Afghani people, but also for Pakistan. So, speaking about Pakistan contributions to fighting terrorism, I cannot but indicate in my appreciation and my government appreciation for how Pakistan managed to fight this scourge of terrorism along the years, and also to feel sorry for the people who died, who lost their lives in that process. So for now, I thank you very much for your attention. I'm really appreciative for your attention.